Imagine discovering that the ancient nation of Israel, once united under the leadership of Kings David and Solomon, was torn apart, leading to the disappearance of 10 of its 12 tribes, tribes that seemingly vanished from history, scattered across the globe. The mystery of these lost tribes is one of the greatest enigmas of the Bible, leaving many wondering, where did they go? Are they still out there? And if so, what role do they play in the fulfillment of biblical prophecies regarding the end times? In this in-depth exploration, we will uncover the biblical origins of the 12 tribes of Israel, reveal how 10 of them became lost, and examine the claims of modern-day groups that believe they are descendants of these tribes. Most importantly, we will delve into the prophetic significance of their return in the end times, a period often linked to the final chapter of human history. The origin of the 12 tribes of Israel. The story of the 12 tribes of Israel begins with Jacob, the grandson of Abraham. Jacob had 12 sons, who would become the patriarchs of the 12 tribes. After a pivotal encounter with God, Jacob was renamed Israel, meaning one who struggles with God. Each of Jacob's sons inherited a portion of the Promised Land, and their names became the names of the tribes: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, and Joseph, whose 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, received their own inheritance along with Benjamin. Together, these tribes formed the nation of Israel. The tribes of Judah and Benjamin occupied the southern kingdom of Judah, while the other 10 tribes, known as the northern kingdom, settled in the north under the leadership of tribes like Ephraim and Manasseh. Each tribe had its own unique destiny, as prophesied by Jacob in Genesis 49, but it was their collective disobedience to God that led to their scattering and eventual disappearance from history. The division of the kingdom and the fate of the 10 lost tribes. After the reign of King Solomon, the unified kingdom of Israel was torn apart. The southern kingdom, called Judah, remained loyal to the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, while the northern kingdom, called Israel, consisted of the other 10 tribes: Reuben, Simeon, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, and Manasseh. Unfortunately, the northern kingdom quickly fell into idolatry and rebellion against God. Despite numerous warnings from prophets like Hosea and Amos, the people continued to reject God's covenant. In 722 BC, God's judgment came in the form of the powerful Assyrian Empire, which invaded the northern kingdom, captured its people, and scattered them throughout the vast Assyrian lands. According to 2 Kings 17:6, the king of Assyria deported Israel to Assyria and settled them in Hala, in Gozan, on the Habor River, and in the towns of the Medes. These 10 tribes were dispersed across the Assyrian Empire, and over time their identity became blurred. As a result, they earned the title of the Lost Tribes of Israel. However, are they truly lost? Or are they simply waiting to be revealed in the end times? The scattered tribes, lost but not forgotten. Though the disappearance of the 10 tribes after the Assyrian conquest is one of the greatest mysteries of biblical history, the Bible and Jewish tradition suggest that the tribes are not entirely lost. Rather, they were dispersed among the nations, awaiting a prophetic return. Over the centuries, various groups across the globe have claimed descent from these lost tribes, holding on to ancient Jewish customs, traditions, and beliefs, despite their isolation from the broader Jewish world. Here's a closer look at some of the most notable groups that claim to be descendants of these lost tribes. 1. Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jews, Tribe of Dan. One of the most well-known groups claiming descent from the lost tribes is Beta Israel, or the Ethiopian Jews, who believe they are descendants of the tribe of Dan. Their presence in Ethiopia stretches back thousands of years, and they have maintained unique Jewish customs that distinguish them from other African ethnic groups. Despite their centuries of isolation, the Beta Israel community kept the Sabbath, practiced circumcision, followed kosher dietary laws, and observed various Jewish festivals. Their religious practices mirrored those of ancient Israel, and their oral traditions tell of a migration from Israel to Ethiopia via Egypt. In modern times, The Beta Israel were officially recognized as part of the Jewish people by Israel's rabbinate in the late 20th century. Through operations like Operation Moses in 1984 and Operation Solomon in 1991, tens of thousands of Ethiopian Jews were airlifted to Israel, fulfilling what many see as a modern echo of ancient prophecies regarding the return of Israel's exiles. 2. Bene Israel, Indian Jews, Tribe of Ephraim. The Bene Israel, located primarily in the western regions of India, trace their roots back to the lost tribe of Ephraim. According to their oral tradition, their ancestors were shipwrecked on the Indian coast during the Assyrian exile and established a small Jewish community. For centuries, they remained isolated from the broader Jewish world, but managed to retain key Jewish customs, such as observing the Sabbath, circumcision, and dietary laws. Remarkably, despite their isolation, the Bene Israel community retained a strong sense of Jewish identity. In recent decades, some members have immigrated to Israel, contributing to the growing diversity of Israel's Jewish population and representing yet another potential fulfillment of the prophecy regarding the return of the lost tribes. 3. Pashtun tribes, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. The Pashtun people, also known as Pathans, claim to be descendants of the lost tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, the sons of Joseph. Their ancient traditions bear striking resemblances to Israelite customs, such as circumcision, avoiding pork, and following other cultural practices reminiscent of ancient Israelite law. Their oral tradition consistently refers to their Israelite heritage, and some Pashtun tribes even carry names similar to Israelite tribes. Scholars are divided on the validity of these claims, but the persistence of these traditions among the Pashtuns, who number in the tens of millions, adds a fascinating dimension to the narrative of the lost tribes. 4. Igbo Jews, Nigeria. Tribes of Gad and Zebulun. The Igbo people of Nigeria have long maintained that they are descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, particularly the tribes of Gad and Zebulun. The Igbo have strong cultural traditions that include practices similar to those found in Judaism, such as circumcision on the 8th day, dietary restrictions, and the observance of certain religious festivals. Though their claims have not been widely recognized by the broader Jewish community, many Igbos have formally converted to mainstream Judaism and have sought to reconnect with their long-lost heritage. 5. Lemba people, Zimbabwe and South Africa, Tribe of Levi. The Lemba people, living primarily in Zimbabwe and South Africa, claim descent from the tribe of Levi. Their customs, including circumcision, kosher-like dietary restrictions, and the observance of the Sabbath, have intrigued scholars for years. Recent DNA testing has supported their claims, revealing that a significant percentage of the Lemba population carries the Cohen modal haplotype, a genetic marker associated with the priestly line of Aaron. The prophetic significance of the return of the lost tribes. The Bible makes it clear that the lost tribes are not forgotten by God. In fact, their return is central to the end-time prophecies of the Bible. One of the most vivid descriptions of their eventual regathering is found in Ezekiel 37, in the Valley of Dry Bones prophecy, where God promises to breathe life back into the scattered tribes and reunite them with Judah. Ezekiel 37:22 states, "I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel. There will be one king over all of them, and they will never again be two nations or be divided into two kingdoms." This prophecy foretells a future time when the lost tribes will be restored and reunited with the southern kingdom of Judah, forming a single, unified Israel under the Messiah. In Isaiah 11:12, the prophet speaks of the second regathering of Israel. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. Many believe this prophecy is being fulfilled in part through the return of groups like the Beta Israel and Beni Israel, and that the ultimate fulfillment will come with the return of all 12 tribes to their ancient homeland. In the book of Revelation, 7 Part 4, we see the 12 tribes represented once more as 144,000 individuals, 12,000 from each tribe, who are sealed for protection during the Great Tribulation. This passage reaffirms that the lost tribes will play a significant role in God's final plan for humanity, the ongoing fulfillment of prophecy. The story of the lost tribes of Israel is far from over. While their fate has remained a mystery for centuries, the Bible assures us that God has not forgotten his people. Groups like the Beta Israel of Ethiopia and the Pashtun of Afghanistan represent the beginnings of their return, with prophecies in Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Revelation pointing to a future when these tribes will be regathered from the far corners of the earth and reunited under the rule of the Messiah. As we move closer to the fulfillment of these prophecies, the reappearance of the lost tribes serves as a powerful reminder that God's promises never fail, and that the return of the Messiah is drawing near. If this deep dive into the 12 tribes of Israel and their prophetic role in the end times has intrigued you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video from Deep Bible Stories, where we explore how ancient prophecies are shaping our modern world.